So welcome to AbilityMKE Now. We are in the back room at the moment here because the broadcast actually will begin in just over a minute. So for anybody who is checking this out on YouTube, stand by for just a moment here while we get rolling. Right, and we have exactly 60 seconds on my clock. And we got the recording going, so we are in good shape. And I see Emily has in the chat box all of the links then for how to find our info. That's perfect. So make sure to save the chat at some point here so you got those handy. Spotlight. So I've got 25 seconds. So looking forward to this. Have fun.
Yep. Okay.
Welcome to AbilityMKE Now. My name is Sue Roskoff, and here at AbilityMKE Now, we are a show all about integration, bringing people with disabilities and people that don't have a disability together, enjoying life here in the Milwaukee area. We all have different abilities, and here at AbilityMKE Now, we dive into this topic of diverse abilities. The concept of disability hits a wide range of possibilities. We could be talking about physical or mental disabilities, the deaf and hard of hearing community, blindness, chronic pain, mental health diagnosis, goals of substance use reduction, and the list goes on. We all have our own experience with disability, whether it's our own or with people we know or people we encounter on our daily basis. Here at AbilityMKE Now, we break down the barriers and we celebrate the ability in all of us. So we are blessed this evening to have two amazing guests joining us. And to introduce, I am going to pass this over to Emily to do some introductions for us. So Emily, over to you.
All right, so our first guest hails out of Virginia and is a nutrition and wellness coach for professional women, meal planning expert, data manager, reversing type 2 diabetes, among other things. So pass over to Jessie to add any more of an intro or introducing yourself.
Yeah, my name is Jessie George. I am from India and also an electrical engineer by profession. As someone who came from India to USA, I got into this enjoying all the food and everything that America had to offer, and I became type 2 diabetic. And that doesn't, it was like during my pregnancy, and I had to go on insulin a couple of times, and this was not working out well, but I was very comfortable living with the medication until I hit a point where life was kind of falling apart. I had high blood pressure. I had high cholesterol. I had everything high. I had edema. I had acid reflux, and I barely could survive. And then I lost my job of 20 plus years. That put me into a depression too. Like life kind of fell apart from me. I felt like I was useless. There was no point in living. I didn't have anything to contribute to anybody. I'm like a, unhealthy person.
I understand you on that part.
Yeah. So unhealthy person living a life. I didn't want to be a burden to anybody. That was one of my things. I just didn't want anybody to take care of me. I didn't want to be a burden to them. I just wanted to be gone from this world. But there was a moment where God held my hand and said, no, that's not what you're supposed to be here for. First, take some time to love yourself. Just take a break from everything. And I did. I obeyed. And within 3 months, I was able to reverse the 17 years of type 2 diabetes. In 3 months, I reversed it.
Can you
And
share how you did?
sure, I can. But
I
let's.
think a lot of people would value that. You know how you probably know how common type 2 diabetes is in our country.
I do, but people do not want to take that action. Like me, where I was comfortable just with medication. Everybody is comfortable, right? But like Sue said, the disabilities come from diabetes, like blindness, organ damage, and amputations. And there is so much more that could happen. We don't understand that when we take medication and just live along the way. Until we really face the dangers, we don't take action. That's our human nature. It's not anybody's fault, but we have to understand eventually where we are reaching. Like we can see the people went ahead of us, showed us, they can
And
lose.
I think that's a very good point you're saying, is that we don't understand the struggles until we go through them ourselves. Because I actually have a friend, she's a senior, she's already retired from her career in IT, but she's talked to me recently about how she always had good health her whole life. And now suddenly, after she had a surgery in August, here she is almost a year later, still in recovery because of, quote, she's old. That's her phrase, is that, quote, I'm old. I'm not calling her that, but she said it herself. And she says, man, I've always spent my life thinking I was a 12-year-old in a 75-year-old's body. She says, now I think I'm like an 80-something-year-old in a 75-year-old body. And I said, well, it's interesting you say that. I say, because in the end, I think I was born as an old woman because I always have been disabled since I was 10 months old. I've had a growing list. Even in the last week, I got a new diagnosis. This is now 3 pages long of diagnosis. And she and I were talking about it. She said, Jane, you've got a point. She says, listening to you and all you have been through for your entire life. And then here I am, an old woman complaining about what you spent your entire life going through. She said, I realized I really did take a healthy life for granted. Like how many people have to actually go through it to understand that, right? And you sound like you're one of those that be in her shoes.
Yeah, we takes, I feel like in education system, we could teach from their young how to eat healthy if we put our effort to. We know when somebody has an allergy, we make it such big deal in schools that other kids cannot even bring food to the school if somebody else have allergies. I'm just saying some of the things, how we implement things. We use the same tactics to teach other things. Like, we can teach kids from very young age what is healthy, what is not healthy. We know all the manufactured food is tastier. So if we keep giving kids that, they will only know that. They wouldn't know what is other food.
They know based off what they're exposed to, right? And what's interesting is I went to 4 different high schools. 2 of them were in Atlanta, Georgia. And those, for the years I was at them, they allowed me to pick what science. You know how in high school we have to take 3 sciences, at least for a college prep diploma, among other things. But they allowed me to pick which science I wanted to take. So I took what was a 2nd level chemistry from the chemistry that was standard in Texas to take in 9th grade. And it was basically human chemistry. And I kind of was like, why am I even learning this? But looking back, you know what we studied? The human chemistry, which is the different nutrients and why our body does or does not need it. Like sugar, what it does to our body to destroy it. Protein, what it does to our body to repair different things like our muscles and to expand our muscles. And all this other like science of nutrition. But it was a chemistry. And that's what I'm thinking. Maybe we need to, push that people have that as at least an option, if not a standard science in high school, right? How many would eat more healthy if they knew what it actually did to their body?
Definitely something to think about, because that is true. So actually, I'm going to bounce this back over to Emily for just a moment here. If she could give us a quick introduction of Jennifer, you've been joining us in the conversation, which is awesome. Emily, you want to just introduce who she is? And then also we have another friend that has joined us this evening, and I'd like to have him come into the conversation as well. So Emily, I'm going to pass it over to you. Oh, you're muted.
Oh, boy.
There we go.
Jennifer A. Whitaker out of the Houston, Texas area, host of 6 different shows under the Jaws Coffee Chat name. I've been working with her for the last number of months. Our other person that's on here hails from Georgia. Call him Parachute Pete, who deals with the kind of end of life issues, final expense planning. So good to have you, Pete.
It's good to be here, guys. I appreciate it, and I'm listening intently, especially to what Jesse's saying, and Jennifer. I haven't seen you in ages, but
And I was about to say, about time we featured Peter James.
it's kind of
Good
interesting.
to see you again.
Yeah, meeting my client online. I didn't realize that you were going to be here, but
I was hiding.
Jesse, I could identify with a lot of stuff that you're talking about. So I'm diabetic and trying to reverse it at the same time.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
of the things that you mentioned, that some of the maladies, I'm trying to get rid of them myself. So I'm very familiar with that. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, continuing my story, there is a little more things. Like I was asthmatic from very young age. So I didn't know a life without asthma. I lived with inhalers, multiple inhalers, and nebulizer, and all these things along with diabetes. So I couldn't walk well or hike with family while my family is like outdoorsy. They want to go hiking and stuff, but I couldn't go with them. I would go up till the place where I can, then I sit at the bottom, they go up, take the picture and show me what they saw. But now I can see what they see. That's amazing. You know, asthma is gone, allergies are gone. I'm off of high blood pressure medications, edema, no more. Just life like healed inside out. So what I want to convey is our body is very capable of healing if we allow it. Well, me being an engineer, if I think about something, if somebody else have done, I say I can do it. So I feel like I can create the experience somebody else had if I put my mind to. You know, I came from very humble.
All truth to that. As
place.
educators, we would say that. I've been tutoring for 22 years. I understand you on the education side. Definitely.
Yeah, came from India, but I got spoiled by everything America had to offer. I did not think that time. I thought this is one of the well-developed country. They know everything, so everything will be good, right? That's what we think. I say healthy choice and smart ones did not make me healthy or smart. Those were my go-tos when I had to just go buy something from the grocery store. But last almost 6 years, I'm able to live a healthy lifestyle. So I have a purpose now, and I trust God for everything now. I'm not questioning anything because I know He paves the way for everything. We have a job. My husband lost his job during COVID, but God provided a full ride for my daughter to go to college. Hey, God is amazing in multiple ways. So I'm just trusting completely for everything that I'm doing. Yeah. So that is a secret for success, is trusting in myself that God is going to provide it, but I have to trust myself to take that step to make the change. Eating habits.
That takes brave, risk-taking decisions. So many people are not major risk takers. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges. But, for any of us who are entrepreneurs, we have to be risk takers in order to do that. So I'm not sure if you're self-employed or you work for somebody else, but that definitely shows that you do have a skill in high risk taking.
I mean, everybody can take that small step. If we don't allow this body us, who are we living for? If we chase after something else and we lose our body and our health, we cannot continue chasing anything. So the first and foremost is our health, that we need to, we have good health, we can do anything we want and make money. Making money is like not going to be hard when you have health. If you don't have health, you cannot go out to drive anything. Say in America, you can make by food delivery, whatever, but you have to have a good health to do that and the energy to do that, right? So health is first, and we have to eat, but we eat mindfully in a better way so that our body is healthy. We need to be aware that, understand that manufacturers want us to spend the money on their food. If you watch TV, which I don't usually, but every time if I turn on the TV, first thing I see is a diabetes medicine advertisement. Along with that comes 1,000 side effects. And if you have this, don't take it, this and that. And every time there's a new medicine, a new name. I don't even know how to spell them or say them. And I say, it's better not even know about it. Why do you want to put chemicals into your body? Our body already knows how to function, and we are disrupting all the functionality and stopping the symptom. We're not addressing the root cause of things that we have.
So did you overcome yours or heal them by natural supplements? Is that basically where you're going with it?
Just food, no supplements. I don't even advise people to go to buy the protein powder and this and that. No way. I teach the basic cooking, just like a typical Indian village woman does. We cook from scratch. We eat food and healthy. Yeah, that's it.
Well, I wanted to bring Peter in a little bit here to. Can you tell us a little bit more? I'm kind of jumping topics slightly here, but I wanted to have Peter have a chance here to tell us a little bit more about what he does and some stories perhaps from your experience as well. But can you tell us a little bit more, give us a more introduction so we all know who Peter is?
Absolutely. Yeah, Jesse, I'm feeding at your tree. I'm just listening to you. Yeah, my name is Peter James, and I bill myself as the Chief Encouragement Officer for Affordable Senior Solutions. And you may ask, what is Affordable Senior Solutions? What do? We provide peace of mind to our clients by helping them to, for use of a better term, we're like parachutes. We provide soft landings for folks who, and this is a topic that's so popular and so exciting that I feel privileged to be able to do it. I help people to prepare for the afterlife, meaning I am a final expense advisor. I don't sell. Basically, I advise people and they make decisions based on that. So, Good Friday in the Christian calendar is commemorated throughout the world. As a Christian, Good Friday, I got a call from a lady in Tennessee. I live in Georgia. And she said to me, I was looking through my dad's information and I saw your name and something that you had written out for him back in 2019. So I decided to give you a call because he passed away. And I said, remind me of his name. And she said his name was Gene Phillips. And I said, Gene. And I said, where are you? And she says that she's in Monroe, which is a city about maybe half an hour from me. And I said, oh, I remember Gene. He was the guy that liked the cars. And she said, yes, and everything. She said, I'm the executor on his estate. And I was trying to figure out if he had life insurance to cover his funeral. That's because I had your name and your cell phone number. I said, I'd give you a call to find out where the policy is. So I remember Gene was one of those folks that you'd want you to come back another time because the time was inconvenient and all that stuff. So eventually I stopped going and Gene never got a policy, not because of my failure in a sense, but because he never was wanting to make the decision. So his daughter said she was kind of a little distraught because she had taken care of her mom who had passed away 2 years before. And here we are, two people that didn't have anything to cover their funerals or their cremations or whatever it is. So we're positioned basically to assist folks who'd want to make that transition, because there's a saying that if you can talk about it, it's a dream. If you can envision it, then it's a possibility. But until you schedule it, it doesn't become a reality. So what we try to do is to come alongside people in a very compassionate way and try to steer them towards getting a plan, not for them because we don't need it. Jesse, Sue, Jennifer, Emily, we don't need it. It's not for us, it's for our loved ones when we're gone. So the question is, how deep is your love? Because love is an action word. So do you love them enough to leave a legacy? Or do you love them a little and leave a burden? It's an action word. So that's what I do. I help people to make that transition from taking it from the mind. Because check this out. If you always are thinking about it, it's clouding up your mind. Now, if you're freed up by taking care of that small detail, then you don't have to worry about it later on because your mind is now set to do more important things. Something like this takes a few minutes to get yourself, get yourself situation. Not a story. In my 40s, it was over 14 years ago, I experienced what we call a myocardial infarction. It's a nice name that you say it's a heart attack. I was in my 40s. And when I came out of the surgery, they did a stent and they found a blockage. The guy who came to get me, he said to me, Peter, what are you feeling now? And I said, man, there is a sense of gratitude because here I am being able to answer a question, looking up at the ceiling and said, man, I'm alive. So that was my overwhelming thing. So why am I saying that? Heart attack survivor, diabetic, transversal, one adrenal gland. I got what we call syndrome. It's Cushing syndrome. So I'm too sweet. So my blood sugar is usually a little higher than normally, and then my blood pressure is up, and I do stuff for high cholesterol. But I'm weaning myself. In the last year, I've lost about 14 pounds because I'm no longer having meat, stuff like that. I'm doing more vegetarian and that type of stuff. What I'm leading into is that because of the experiences that I have had personally, I get high on my own supply. And it's a drug term. I use the drug and I shared with people also. It's called a final expense plan. So because of what I've been through, I do a deeper dive than the average person to make sure people get qualified. So I don't work for any company, I work for the client, and I try to search and find the best deal that would match up with their particular situation. So diabetes, lupus, heart attack, PTSD, schizophrenia, bipolar, congestive heart failure. When others don't have the time for it, that's me. It's people that are disabled, overweight, whatever. They're saying 20% of the population is underserved because they have certain preconditions like myself. So what I do for myself, I do it for my clients. So wherever they are, in whatever sphere, I can try to work with it. And Jennifer, you might want to say something that just joking.
I
But
sure did.
I worked with Jennifer
Because I'm one of your
years ago,
clients.
and I got her a plan. So I don't discriminate in that sense. I work with, I say I work with everybody basically. I'm an immigrant from Jamaica. So I'm,
Oh, yay.
Jesse, you didn't notice, I'm Indian, West Indian. Got you.
Oh.
And
So that's a little about what I do.
Yeah, definitely. You're great at what you do. I could say as being, how in our conversation we talked about with my mental health and stuff that I was high risk and it was almost impossible for me to even get a final expense plan. And yet I'm one of those that is in the underserved community, like you're talking about. And yet, even though I have my even history of attempting suicide and all, that you got me a plan that has enough to at least take care of the burial and certain other stuff upon like inflation, of course, but to at least the final stuff. Well, since then I've worked with other people that have helped me get medical insurance that now covers 100% of my bills. So it's lowering, so that won't be the expense that my sisters are left with. So, it's the whole like bringing different businesses together to form happiness, as we say in HPN or HMP, whatever. But that's a happiness that with you and this other person coming together, and even like a third person that's now helping me make a trust to sell my business to a trust and other things that it's like as I expand that network that started with you, my happy bubble gets bigger. And
Well,
it
I'm glad I
always with
could assist.
HMP, right?
I'm glad I
And
could
that's where we
assist.
all meet.
Yeah, and I never knew you were gonna. It's kind of funny. I never had a clue that you're gonna be here, so it's not like a planned thing in a sense. You just happen
Surprise!
to be here. That's good. Good seeing you again. So,
Yeah.
Well, good to see you, Peter.
Good, Peter, why don't you say your tagline?
oh, my tagline. Well, I'm gonna give you a little variety tonight. Final expense is like a leaky roof. The longer it stays, is the more expensive it gets. But my passion one, and they call me Parachute Pete because of this, is that final expense. It's like a parachute. If you don't have it when you need it, you don't need it anymore. Peter James, your healthy choice for final expense planning.
Love
Choice.
that. That makes that I absolutely love that. That's perfect.
Yeah, me too. That's why that's one of the reasons why I had him say it.
Thanks, Emily.
Yeah, no, that was a good call, Emily.
So well, I just want to go around the room real quick here and give everybody a solid 60 seconds here to share some final thoughts of what message you want to leave us with. So Jesse, I'll start with you.
What I want to leave with any listeners is that you can heal. Your body has amazing power, healing power if you let it. So eat well, eat healthy, save money. And you can find more information, free recipes and stuff on my website called sensibleketo.com. And there's a lot of meal plans and all those things you can help you along this journey to live a healthy lifestyle.
Did you say sensibleketo.com?
Yeah, I can share it later with you or in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually we do have our show is listed on riverwestradio.com. There's a show tab on the website and they have archives of all of our shows on there. I will make sure to have that website listed on there as well. So actually, Peter, I'm going to send it over to you next.
Okay. Well, people don't care how much you know. This is not my original until they know how much you care about them. Today is the tomorrow you thought about yesterday. And it's best to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Procrastination is a thief of time. My final thoughts is you don't have to be old like me to get it. Don't wait until you're too old. A lot of folks have this misconception that something that you need when you're going to die. You need it before because sometimes you can't get it when you want it. So you got to take it while you can get it. Peter James, your healthy choice for final expense planning. Oh, Emily, I forgot. Final expense is like a parachute. If you don't have it when you need it, you don't need it anymore.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Peter. Actually, and Jennifer, I'm going to send it your way for a 60-second. What's your final thoughts for today?
Well, it's definitely great to see Peter James again, who definitely was my advisor. And it's so great to meet Miss Jessie and to hear what she had to say about natural healing ways. Those are all useful things to listeners as well as even to me personally. However, I'm Jennifer A. Whitaker. If you want to learn more about me or what all I have to offer, please check out my website, jensbooksandmore.com. That's www.jensbooksandmore.com.
Excellent. Thanks so much for being here with us too. So this has been just a power-packed group. I am so thrilled everybody was able to join us tonight. And I invite you to come back again because I know with certain pieces you guys are talking about, we could easily deep dive into so many different directions. I would love to have a chance to expand the conversation and to learn more from each of you as well, because there are a lot of pieces here and it's relevant for everyone. That's something that it with what you all bring to the table here, it is exactly what the show is all about. It's relevant for everybody. It brings in pieces that are specifically relevant for those that are in some fashion in the disability community or have extra challenges in their own personal world. So with what you guys are all bringing here, I sat back and I got to just enjoy the conversation here because you guys are amazing. So Jesse, thank you so much. It's been great having you here. And for me personally to have a chance to meet you and learn more. Peter, always good to see you. I know I
Thank
get to
you.
see you around the neighborhood every so often with our Happy Neighborhood Project. And Jennifer, I know we get to connect a little more often, and I really appreciate that. You always have insights that that bring a lot to us here. And so for Emily, Kurt, and for me, Sue Roskoff, and for all of us here with Ability MKE Now, we thank you.